What's up, y'all? What's going on with you guys? Let me see. Is my sound on? Don't know if my sound is good. Let me see what's going on. All right, I got some sound. Cool. All right, we're about to get started. What's going on, you guys? How was your weekend? I want to know what we gonna do. People getting killed off in the streets. What we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Going on? What's going on? What's going on out there, everybody? How you feeling? My name is Tyrone Irvin. This is Soapbox Heroes. We are in the building today. We got some things that we want to talk about. I got some things that are on my chest. What's going on, Peter Anderson? I see you over there in the YouTube stream. I have a few questions. Today. There was video footage shown of a man getting, well, strangled, choked. He had a police officer put his knee on his neck, and he subsequently died in the hospital later. Put his knee on his neck with all of his weight, almost looked like he was just there, just weight on his neck. I saw a picture at first, and the picture looked atrocious. I said to myself, Self, do you really want to watch this? And I said to myself, I actually said, no, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. Has there ever been a point in time where you feel as if you've seen so much of something to where it just makes you sick? At the very first sight of seeing it, at the very first uttering of the mention of the act, well, this is one of them. So when it came time for me to watch it, after I had already saw the picture, I had to hesitate. I didn't know if I was ready. And a few weeks ago, I thought we got to the point to where we were getting desensitized. But I would have to say, personally, I was wrong, because this hurt. It hurt. And I know, again, there are people that's going to say, well, Tyrone, how can we talk about what other people do to us and not talk about what we do to us? And I would like to say to those people, you have a valid point. Yet those are two different conversations that both individually need to be had. Easy, right? Easy. Okay, so one doesn't give an excuse for the other one to be perpetuated and continued. All right. one bad doesn't make it okay for somebody else to do something bad. That, that's just my opinion. That's one of the things that I want to talk about today. We're going to get all into that. There was a whole bunch going on over the weekend. If you heard us on Friday, we had Prince Hayes of Meme Knowledge, and he was on, and we were talking about the Breakfast Club interview with Charlemagne. And we ended up, breaking it down. But of course, as these things tend to do, it took off over the weekend and it became even a bigger subject. It became something bigger for people to talk about. So I'm going to dive into it again. And look, you guys, when it comes down to it, I'm going to say right off the bat, I am skeptical of both of them. And I don't think that it is a very strong political strategy to tell anybody what you're going to do before they deserve it. So just because I dislike one person doesn't mean that I'm going to promise the next person my vote without the next person at least guaranteeing me that they're going to be a smidget better than the other person. I don't want to have to assume. I don't want to have to hope. I want you to let me know. All right? Pete, you said I watched 10 minutes of it. And no matter what the individual did, he was restricted and the knee on the neck was not necessary. Pete, I absolutely 100% agree with you. Well beyond the means or needs of the necessary force, and that is something that we see as it's a common thing. It's a common thing. It's not the first time, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to be last time. I pray that it is. Of course, we should. But this is something that we're going to talk about because, again, I said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so many people said nothing. So many people said we can't do anything. And honestly, that surprised me a little bit. I didn't think we were to the point to where we felt so defeated to where we felt we can't do nothing. See, I guess I'm one of those glass half full people. I always think there's something to do. You just got to have the will to do it. You just got to have the will to do it. But hey, you guys, look, my name is Tyrone Irvin. All right. Get close to your speaker, get close to whatever device it is that you are listening to listen to this broadcast. I want to make an announcement. I hope you guys are listening. Are you listening out there? All right. My name is Tyrone Irvin. I'm running for president. And if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. And in fact, I want your house keys. If you don't give me your house keys, you're not black. If you don't automatically just bow to my privilege, then you not black. If you don't like me more than the other bad guy, then you not black. And while you're at it, hand me the mortgage, the deed to your home. My name is Tyrone Irvin, and I'm running for president, and I'll be right back right after this. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Yeah, Pete, that was unnecessary. That was well beyond the scope of anything that was necessary. Yeah, it gets to the point, I think a fair question is, what are we going to do? And I understand when people say nothing. I get it. I would hope that we could change that thought. you know, as a collective, as a collective of human beings. Just the fact of hopelessness, I think it does suck. We are at a place where people are just hopeless. What's going on, Betty Boo? We here. We're about to talk about George Floyd something. I want to know, you know, what are we going to do to buck this trend? What are we going to do to buck this trend? George Floyd, he was from Houston too. He went to Yates. I don't know if I'm ready to accept the answer that we can't do anything about it. We got 2 more minutes and then we're going to come back from a song and we got some. Yeah, this don't make no sense. Benjamin Crump will be representing him. All right, let's see how this goes. You didn't watch the video, but I thought you heard the cops knew the video was taping and didn't care. No, I didn't care at all. Didn't care at all. None. And it's one of those things to where it's very concerning that somebody would think that, you know, hey, I could care less about this individual's life. I am going to just abuse them. It's clearly abuse. I can't see anybody. Well, I can see somebody arguing against it. I don't think it'll be a honest argument. I think it'll be an argument with the agenda behind it. Yeah, it is a shame. It's a shame. There's a few things that are a shame. All right, we're gonna come back. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. Welcome back. Yes, indeed. This is Tyrone Irvin. We are back after a short break, and we're going to go to the calls, and we're going to get to the live. I want to know what the people think. I know if you guys want to talk about George Floyd, call on in. The phone number is 713-668-1230. The obvious abuse that's going on, but I also want to know, what are we going to do about it? Let's get over here. 1230, the source. Caller, you on the line. What is on your mind? I'm going to give you a 3-6 favorite. I'm not going to answer for 199 times. How do you know? I would put a black man in these choked to death, and you can watch the people ask you, how do you know? Right. Yeah. You asked the question, what, first of all, my condolences. I'm tired of saying this here. My thoughts and my prayers. Once again, God to the family of George Floyd. I'm tired of my thoughts and prayers that they don't have to be in tomorrow and next week, like it did with Tatiana Jefferson, like it happened with Dr. J. where happened to Abner and up in Louisville. It's going to happen again. We don't say I was Dr. Prayer. Yep.
A couple of years, you asked the question, what we gonna do? A few years ago, I seen this soccer match. It's on YouTube. It was this dude jumped out the stand. There was a fan, and he ran onto the soccer field. And he interrupted the game for about 30 seconds. And about 3 or 4 police officers came and subdued and put him in handcuffs. But while they was handcuffing him, they was hitting him and kneeing him and stuff. And the people started falling.
Uh-huh.
About 8 seconds later, some fans came out of them stands. And them cops took off running. So my thing is, man, somebody gonna have to, like Little Rich said earlier, somebody gonna have to take one for the team. I mean, it reminded me of back during slavery time. You got 1 or 2 slave masters, and you got 200 slaves on the plantation. How you gonna let 2
control the whole plantation? All right.
When I seen that video, that people just standing around yelling and screaming. And then it became me. We might be able to be, man.
Yeah, you know what? When I saw the tape, at first, like I said, I wouldn't watch the tape first. And then when I watched the tape, it was tough. I said, well, and it's easy to say what we would do. And I said, but even if you don't get into it to the point to where you're tussling with the cop, yell at the top of your lungs. What are you doing? Something to diffuse it. And that may not work. But let's say, okay, so when we talk about that, let's get real. Are we going to talk about on an overall sense to where, people are going to go out and do things when they feel threatened by the police? Do you think that would lead to something that we're ready to handle?
Well, we might not be ready to handle it, man, but we might win right now. And in the words of that immediate office right now, when he was running for president, what did he have to lose? Because ain't nothing else working. We're going to march, we're going to protest. And like I say, next week, it's going to be another black man get shot to death, get beat to death, get shot to death, or whatever. But my thing is, man, as a human being, we see what happened with Eric Garner when he was saying he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't understand how is a man that's accused allegedly of forgery, why is his hands handcuffed behind his back? Why did you feel the need to put your knee on his neck for forgery?
Yeah, I never even understand why when this video comes out in the footage, talk about the forgery. I mean, we know why, but I think it's silly. That has nothing to do with your neck being, your knee being on his neck and you choking him. So, I mean, why bring up stuff for nothing? Go ahead.
And then you got a white man marching on the Capitol because they upset about and they got big guns. And the only thing happening to them is like, they get tongue lashes. Nobody goes to jail, nobody gets roughed up. But here's a brother ain't did nothing. And you got him handcuffed behind his back, and then you kneel his neck. And then the cops that just stood around, especially that Asian cop, he up there just looking stupid, standing over, seeing what you say. I mean, sometimes you want to say, that's enough. Pull him off, that's enough. But him just stand around like it's business as usual. I'm sitting, shut up.
Okay.
Being in the cameras now, Tyrone. So imagine what went on with us
before video cameras. Ooh-wee. And look, the cold part is now, in a lot of situations, the cameras don't work when they need to work conveniently. So even with the cameras, but the scary thing about cameras, we see a lot of things that happen on camera and they still get away with it. So even with the cameras, it's more amplified. But let me ask you this too, because I think at this point in time, do you think that we're still kind of stuck in our thinking of the things we can't do? As far as, like you say, they're out there protesting and they got their long rifles. We got a Michigan lawmaker, what's her name? Sarah Anthony. Her name is Sarah Anthony, Democrat. the city capitol, she got an escort with some brothers with rifles, and they didn't do nothing, not a tongue lashing. So do you think that we're stuck? Do you think we should go back to trying to reinsert our dominance?
You remember back in the day when I think Ronald Reagan was governor of California, and the White Panthers used to go into City Hall.
Yeah.
The rifles, the people sat down. So I'm just saying, man, that's the key to America. Just be true to what you say on Facebook. White guys can walk around with their guns. Junior, Tyrone, Ali, Muhammad, brother Chris, brother Bo. We all tend to walk around with our big guns. Say this, man, my condolences go out to that family. Imagine Tyrone, if that was your child.
Yeah. Unbearable.
And I want to give that mayor of Minneapolis, just because he was emotional.
Yeah.
He immediately fired them both out.
Yes.
To the law, but imagine to that officer that had his neck on George Floyd, had his knee on George Floyd's neck. If that would have been somebody, if that had been your son or your daughter, and the police officer had his knee on your child's neck. I mean, this guy was like he was enjoying. This man is dying, big and full of life, and you enjoying putting your knee snuffing his life out like that. But again, my condolences go out to the family of a great man, going to everyone. Way too soon, George Floyd. They're asking this man how he's doing. The man seen the video like y'all did. How do you think he's doing? I'm done, Tyrone.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Absolutely. And this is the thing. The officer that did it, when I asked, how can we change things? Maybe we should try to change or reverse some of the bills that have been made. You know, like I understand the Blue Lives Matter, to where if you do something to a police officer, it's an automatic death penalty. Well, maybe if something was the opposite, if a police officer hears somebody, sees somebody, notices that they can't breathe, the people that are watching, that are looking, that are observing, are alerting the officer that the person can't breathe. When you see the man pass out and you continue to keep your knees on his neck, you should be eligible for the death penalty. That should be something that's pushed legislatively. That is something that CDC, y'all hear me with it. CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, my mistake, get with it. NAACP, get with it. Legislation. These people got to understand that their life could be on the line just like ours before people do get angry. No more. Well, you know, one bad apple shouldn't spoil the whole bunch. Once again, every apple there was bad. 12:30 The Source, you are on the line. What's on your mind, Carl? Wonderful. How are you?
My friend Junior doesn't like to me the last day. It's story us, Junior. Look, let me make it short and simple. Collectively, things, like whatever subject matter, changed, but people are sick and tired.
Yes.
Sick and tired, and you heard this before, Junior, and you too, Thorough. All talk, no action, including me. Okay, including me. We're gonna talk and make some good radio, and then we're gonna move on. That's when things are gonna change, Junior. When people, including me, are sick and tired. We talk a good game, including ourselves. Okay, so we don't act upon it.
Well, Texas Mike, let me say something. Actually, I want to commend you right now because you're also taking responsibility instead of just pointing the finger, which I think takes a big person to do. And so I think you're right. I think we do have to put more to action than words, because words are very easy. Words are very comfortable. And so, you know what? I agree with you, Texas Mike. Go ahead.
Amen. Have a good show.
All right, have a good one. I agree with Texas Mike. I agree with Texas Mike. I think we do need to take some sort of action as a collective. You know what? A few weeks ago, somebody said, "Do you think we need a leader?" And at the time, I said, no, because nobody would listen. And ever since then, I have been thinking about that question. I've been thinking about it actually relentlessly in a philosophical way. It's very hard to find data on whether somebody needs a leader, but trust me, I tried. And compiling the data, it's beyond the analytical thing. You got to be able to think outside the box for every little reason why something would be conducive towards a group of people having a leader, and all the things that will be conducive to a group of people not having leaders. Then compare them, and you got to be able to find all the places on it. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to give it a little bit of philosophical thought, just a little bit of thought on my own, and I'm going to rescind my first answer. I think maybe we do need a leader. And maybe somebody that can get enough people to listen, to go for one unified goal. I know people say you'll never get all Black people to go for one unified goal. I agree. But you don't need all. You don't need all. And there was something I was thinking in the process of this thought, and it came to my mind, said, well, and we don't even have to get along to still be one. 12:30, the Source Caller, you on the line. What's on your mind?
Thanks for taking the call, Carol.
Absolutely. What's on your mind?
I used to speak that to you.
Really?
You got a brother, they call each other twins. He's a big dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to play tight end
for Yates. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, man. I noticed with these little wimpy cops, they run from Big Brother, they may as well see me in Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I just see a Big Brother, you know?
And that can mean, and that doesn't mean he's an animal.
It doesn't. It just means he's a big brother.
That's it. That's it. And
they just go off like you. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Let me say something to what you just said real fast. I think that just looking at it, it looks like they get some sort of satisfaction. And to the big brother part, like, I got this big brother, he can't do nothing. I'm winning. What you gonna do? Look, I'm gonna just sit here relaxed. Like, you know, you ever seen this is what comes to mind. You ever see a picture where somebody go out and they hunt some big game and they hold it up by the horns, or, you know? That's what this looks like. Yeah, that's yeah. That's what, yeah. 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 It's just the somber look of satisfaction when he's just looking at the people trying to get him stopped to stop. I mean, that's my thing. There was no urgency. There was almost, this is the thing. It seemed like there was no light in his eyes, like he was almost dead. You get what I'm saying? It's almost robotic. Go ahead.
He has no humanity.
Exactly.
God.
Exactly.
If I don't see the red coming very soon, I'm going to be really disappointed.
What do you think we have to do to push for arrest?
Keep doing it and pushing them, because without pushing them, they're not going to do anything.
Okay, so
actually, that thing that went on in Georgia, which took 2 months. Okay. At the end of the week, you might have to get in the red.
Okay, let me ask you this. So what would our process be? We would get with the district attorney in that area and push the district attorney to arrest? What would we do?
That's what Sean King is doing. He's all over social media with his name and his number.
Yeah. I'm just trying to lay it out because I know a lot of people aren't, looking at the social media aspect to it. So I just like to walk through it. And what else I would like to urge people to do is to start calling the Fraternal Order of Police, and things like that, because those are going to be the organizations that come out and protect this person. So before they protect them, disarm them early. You know what I mean? Disarm them early.
Did you think there was what they call a thin blue line?
Yeah.
It's more like a concrete blue wall.
Absolutely.
You can't even get those cops fighters, man.
Yeah, and it's to the point to where they don't even want to act as if they've done something wrong. I mean, just real quick, I've asked 3 police officers over the last 2 weeks, starting with Ahmaud Arbery, and even after this situation, just on different occasions, I ask them, well, how do you guys feel about the overexertion of the cruelty of what you guys are doing to people in these cases? What does that make you think? And you know what all 3 of them said? Absolutely nothing. They changed the subject. And so I said, you know what? Stop telling me that it's only one bad apple that ruined the bunch. If the rest of the bunch don't want to recognize and at least be honest and approach what the bad one is doing, they got the same stench, man.
Dude, all they did was trade in those white sheets for a blue uniform.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Thank you for airing your views. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah. And so, yeah, you guys, you guys want to call and air your views. That's absolutely fine. I understand sometimes we have stuff that we want to say, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes, and I want to give credit to the people who are out there right now actually pushing and getting action and doing things to actually change things, because when these things happen, because what is it, 13 million African Americans, 333 million Americans in the country, it's hard, it's easy to overlook people that are doing things in the communities that are trying to change things, because there are people out here literally physically trying to change things. What's going on over here? Betty Booz, no accountability. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. What's up, Tony M? What's going on with you? I don't want to hear no explanation of police procedure and techniques used. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. Blah, blah, blah. That should be, you know what, Tone? That should be something that's used from here on out. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear techniques, procedures. I want to understand, you know what? When does your empathy come in? If there's a technique that I've learned and it's killing you, when do I say, you know what, let me stop on this technique? And if I know a technique can kill you and I know it is killing you, if I stick with that technique, it almost seems as if I'm taking advantage of the power that I have. And that's a big problem. Like I said, it's something that definitely has to be addressed, all right? And even if you don't know all about the story here, let me tell you a little bit about it. His name was Gregory Floyd, all right? Minnesota man died in Minneapolis police custody is identified. George Floyd has been identified as Minnesota man who died in police custody after a harrowing video showing Minneapolis police officer kneeling on the back of his head and neck for several minutes. Yes, several minutes. And he was in clear discomfort. And I remember when there was a point in time, they wouldn't show stuff like this on television because of the blatant graphic nature. But now we have social media, we got cameras, we can see it. If you didn't see it, it was literally watching a man die. It was literally watching a man be starved of his life. All right. And that's why I didn't want to watch it. All right. Floyd, who police said was in his 40s, was identified as the victim by his sister on Facebook. I'm glad they started off with that word victim. All right. Attorney Benjamin Crump. How are they getting all the cases? I hope they doing good. I hope they own it. Godspeed. Attorney Benjamin Crump, who has represented families of several victims in civil rights cases, including the families of Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown, said on Twitter, "We have to be informed that the man killed in Minneapolis police was named George Floyd. Justice for Floyd. Hashtag I can't breathe." Again, I can't breathe. We saw Eric Garner. We're seeing this. This is a repeat. And people just standing around watching. And I'm not going to come down hard on the people, the other people that were there, because I don't know. You guys, they're victims too. They're victims too. They just watch somebody die and gonna have to sit there and think about it, how they witnessed it, and wonder what they should have did, or wonder if they could have did, but always know in the back of their mind that if they would have done a little too much more than just a speck of anything, they could have been dead right there on the cement too. So I would just say, before we go too hard on those people, let's remember the possible PTSD that they might be suffering from as of now. Hearing a man gasp for air to stay alive. I have heard some people say, they should have done this, they should have done that. You know what? We all should have done a little bit more so we don't be in this situation right now. So I don't want to do that to those people, because we do have to keep in mind that, they could have easily been killed. We're doing just a little bit more than what they already were doing. And so, just think about that. Just a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich for thought. Because it's a very slippery slope that we're talking about. I asked a question earlier on a social media platform, and I've seen some people saying pretty much, we need to just arm up. We need to just go out there and just guns a-blazing. I don't know if that'll be the best strategy, because, we're outnumbered. We're not organized right now. Those are the basic truths. Okay. Some people say we can't do anything about it. We're done. We're stuck. And I would say, well, you should never feel like that until the day you die. You're never done. You're never stuck. If I wanted you to feel like that, I would be so happy when you did. So myself, I'll never give somebody the satisfaction of them thinking that we can't do something. Not me personally. That's just something that I can't do. I can't do it. I can't do it. But again, you guys, watching somebody so cavalierly kneel on a man's neck, and I saw memes. This man kneels for one reason, and they want to crucify him. This man kneels for another reason, and But I'm glad the outrage is there. I'm glad that people are mad. I'm glad that people are pissed off. But like Texas Mike said, I actually hope that people are pissed off enough to want to do something. 1230 The Source. What's on your mind, caller? You on the line?
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, PK?
I'm doing good. I want to kind of make a statement, because I grew up with the president still living with the president.
Okay.
So the Houston police got caught for the body that they had killed over, pull over with like going out I-10 going towards New Orleans. And lasted body in water. I can't remember the name of it, but people speaking stuff. Not too long ago, one of the people got caught in a tide out there and died. But the Houston police got caught. So you really can't, the color of our dark skin puts us in a, and you can't win against it, because no matter what you say, they're going to say you guilty, you guilty, you guilty. They had no business, but there was enough people driving by that said something about it. They didn't stop there, but they said something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Killed them, that guy, and pulled over that kid and dropped them over. That was way back in the 70s. That's how old I am.
Okay.
But they got caught.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, sometimes we will get some type of justice, but most of the time, no.
Yeah. Sometimes we do get some type of justice. And I also got to state that we have been seeing more officers being prosecuted, but then we're seeing, like with Arbery, we're seeing other prosecutors letting people go completely. So it still hasn't been the weight of justice that we deserve. And I think that's what we're seeking.
Because now when we talk about everything, even though those police have, I don't ever remember seeing, like we see our patients' names and pictures of the paper with the handcuffs being led away. I don't remember that part for them. I don't remember them going.
No.
Anything. I just remember them throwing that body.
So you didn't see the perp walk. You saying that it should have been shown when they were caught and went to jail. That should have been a visual people should have seen.
Yeah. Nobody, we just got the black newspaper the former time. We got that information from them, and only a brief thing on the ABC News late at night. I think they seen one shot about 30 seconds of it, and that was it.
Wow.
Then the other way around.
Well, things that people don't want you to see tend to disappear pretty fast. We know how that go, PK.
I know. I'm here.
All right, PK, let me ask you this. If you can do something if you had one shot at it, what would be something you would say we can do to resolve this issue?
If I could do one thing to make things, I would make it everybody be colorblind and everybody would be equal.
Wow.
I know it's different on, but if I could do that, that's what I would do. I would make it colorblind. Even though I see that coming. I might not see it in here, but I see that coming. Because when I grew up, I did not come home telling my daddy I want to date no. But in this day and time, you do have mixed relationships, you do have mixed babies, and everybody's trying to live together, but you still got that outsider that wants it to be
hateful
and separated.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I need to see the change. I need to see the change. So I'm very thankful for that.
Wow. Okay, PK. Thank you. All right. I appreciate that. I love her perspective. PK said, I did see the change. And so, I do think sometimes we do have to recognize when things move forward in a sense. That's why I'm wondering if things have moved forward enough for us to get out there with our long rifles and protest the things that we don't like the same. Some other groups get out there and protest things that they don't like. Are we ready for that? Do you guys think that that is something that we can achieve? Is that something? Do you guys think that we can achieve that? Do you think we'll be mowed down in mass if we get out there and said, you know what? We're not taking this. We went to the Capitol right now. Long arms. And start protesting. Or you know what? Let's go to Minnesota. Go to Minnesota. Get down there to the district attorney's office, city hall, police department, long arms. People serious about what they're there for. I'm now just listen. I'm not saying you're there to harm anyone. You're there to protect yourself. And I know there's a lot of people saying, Tyrone, that has been done before. And look what happened. My question is, have we moved far enough to where we can repeat those protective actions and combat whatever subsequent danger that might lie after? Is it possible that we would learn from our past history, learn from the past game? Or do you guys think that you'll just, you know what, anyway, I'll just eliminate all these guys? It's nothing they could do. Because I'm personally trying to figure that out. And again, I know there's people saying, well, Tyrone, that's not a novel idea. That's not something you just thought of, and I understand it. And that's the appreciation of having people who are older than you that can mentor you, so you know things like this is not new. But my question is, are we at a point in time to where we can change the paradigm? Are we at a point in time where we can go from first gear to second gear on the paradigm? All the things we talk about other people are able to do, should we take advantage of our rights and do the same thing? And I'm not talking about things that people are able to do because of a financial advantage. I'm talking about things that you can do as far as justice, i.e., there are people out there right now that are protesting the lockdown because they feel as if states, cities, municipalities, businesses should be open. And there's also people mixed in there protesting their rights for their Confederate flag stuff. That's all in there too. It's not just one. Don't let them fool you into thinking them people are out there only protesting the coronavirus. That ain't true. All right. But if we got out there and took the same actions and people understand these people are not playing about protecting themselves, and we also mix that in with a heavy push for legislation for real harsh penalties. Well, you know what? There's somebody running who is okay with mandatory minimums. Can we give a police officer a mandatory minimum for taking the life of somebody? And I know, see, you got to be ready for the argument. The argument is going to be, Tyrone, well, people aren't going to want to sign up to be police officers if all the police officers are going to jail for life. And my answer would be correct. Bad officers wouldn't want to be police officers. You would have to have a different mentality that would change the mindset if it was a guarantee that, you know what, the same consequence this person is getting might be the same consequence I receive. And now and then you got to do something, right? And so when we're out here pushing for legislation, CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, NAACP, Black members, and good, willing, white, Caucasian, Asian, Malaysian, whatever members of Congress, Senate, the House, local government, mayors, DAs, police chiefs, sheriffs, prosecutors, and everybody else together. If you guys don't want to push for the right thing, we're going to have to push you. And so for all the people in those positions, it's about time to do the right thing. Because I do think, I think Texas Mike was dead on right when he said change does happen when people are sick and tired. But do we really gotta wait till people are sick and tired before we act in any type of change? What's up, Rita Oliver? What's going on with you? You say Malia Williams, Todd Williams, all right? Yeah. Barbie Scott. Yeah. And so, yeah, you guys, we got to make sure that we're strategic. We got to play the game correctly. We got to play the game correctly. It's nothing wrong with playing the game correctly. And if we're seeing what we're doing isn't working, we got to change the paradigm, you guys. But look, let's not quit. Let's not quit. Don't let the past block our future. Don't let the past block your future. Don't let thinking because something happened in the past that it can't be achieved in the future. Because the people who want to stop you, that's exactly what you want. That's what they want you to think. The officers like the officer. The officers like the officer that choked, that had his knee on Gregory Floyd's neck. People like that, they want you to feel like you can't do nothing. People like that love it when they see comments and they hear people say, well, there's nothing we can do. And you know what that's telling that person? Well, I'm going to keep my knee on your neck. Don't telegraph that. Don't telegraph that. Hey, you guys, look, this is Soapbox Heroes. My name is Tyrone Irvin. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to dive into some more things. Wait. It's something I want you guys to know. If you weren't Here earlier, I got an announcement. You guys ready? All right, Tyrone Irvin, I am running for president. If you do not vote for me, you in fact are not black. You're not black if you don't vote for me. Look at me. I deserve your vote just because you don't like the other guy. And while I'm at it, give me your car keys too and hand over your savings. Is your house paid for? Yeah? Hand me your deed. My name is Tyrone Irvin, running for president, and I'll be right back right after this. Hey, what's up, Tom? For president. I'm running. What's happening? You gonna be my campaign manager? Let's get it, Tom. Let's get it. Who's gonna be our fundraiser? Rita, we need you to raise the money. We running for president. We ain't telling no lies. We ain't playing no game. We only gonna get 4 years. We gonna get 4 years because we going in there with boots on. Anybody who don't like it can get it. Yeah, anybody can get it. Betty, you count the money, Betty. You count the money. We running for president. That's how we gonna come out. All this winning. We running for president, Tom. That's gonna be our theme song. If they don't support us, forget them too. We running. If you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. I'm running. Nah, we ain't giving no politically correct answers. Telling people to kiss ass and be mad. If you, we got hundreds of years to make up for. Fast. We not here to be liked. We not here for delegations. We here for results. And the result, all the problems are going to be widely known. We here for results. I'm running for president. I'm running. Give me that. Give me your vote. I've earned your vote. For real. I've earned it. And we know you don't got to be qualified. I've earned it. I got your vote, Tori. I'm about to go over why I deserve the votes. I think I've earned it. I think I've earned it. In fact, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. I've earned your vote. I've earned it. I put in the work. I'm qualified. I'm uniquely black. I'm not playing no games at all. I'm running. Who backing me? We need somebody to count the paper. We need somebody to do all that. I got my man Tone as my campaign manager. We feeling good. Look, this gonna be we're gonna come out like this. All this winning. You know what I'm saying? We got about 400 years of making up to do. I only need 4 years. I'm wearing some long boots. We wear boots. We wear boots. That's what I'm doing. Welcome back to Soapbox Heroes. Welcome back. Hey, I'm running for president. If you don't vote for me, you indeed are not black. Now, I am qualified to have you satisfied with me as your president. All right? I want you to just give me your vote. And I promise I'll only buy 2 votes. Give me your vote. Look, I earned your vote because I said I earned your vote, doggone it. And look, and I'm telling you, y'all don't look, anybody, if you're in your car, pull over. This is important. Don't you argue with me. I don't have to tell you why you should vote for me. Do you know what you got? Now, it don't matter what I'm going to give you. Just concentrate on what you got. And in the meantime, give me your savings. I take your savings. Tone, count the money. I need you to count the money too. We ran for president, Tyrone Irvin, 2024 campaign. And I'm not promising you nothing but the fact that I will be better than the last guy. Now, how I will be better now, I don't know. That's up for you to figure out. I'm not going to actually tell you. But what I do need you to do is I need you to promise me your votes today. I need you to promise me your votes and assure me that I don't have to do nothing for you. And send in your money. Oh yeah, send in your money. Look. You should, if you are arguing with what I'm saying, there's no doubt about it in my mind. You're not black. Rick, what up, little Rick? Little Rick, I'm running for president. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. And I'm not promising you nothing either. And I shouldn't have to. I'm qualified. I work for your vote because I told you I am. That's why. Send in your money. That's what we do. When we run for president, you guys, I'm looking for a campaign staff as we speak. Tyrone Irvin 2020, because look, I'm 2024, because all I'm going to do is promise you that I'm going to be a smidget better than the other guy. That's what you want. That's what you get, baby. I deserve your vote. 12:30 the source caller. You on the line. What's on your mind? Do I have your vote? Hey. What's going on, man?
I'm gonna call off. I'm gonna give it my wife. I'm gonna start eating. What you gonna do, man? Do something. I think you want to get together. So I'm a little Rick.
Yeah, Little Rick definitely. Little Rick might have to have 2 jobs in the administration. Little Rick,
Learning how to part time, even full-time job.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Little Rick has to run the military. There's no question about it. Little Rick has to run the military, and we also have to have him run a think tank on blackness moving forward.
Chris for that. Chris for the think tank.
Well, no, I think okay. Well, you belong in the think tank too. Because we need thinkers. We need people to be able to think and give direction. We need people to be able to take action. And so, okay.
I'm gonna be a musician because I don't think I'm music for you.
All right. Well, you can sing. You can sing our new national anthem. It's where Spivey gonna sing the national new anthem, and we gonna have a new national anthem because I'm tired of the old one. It does no good for me. So my first order of president, Little Rick, if they get mad, get the military, we changing the national anthem. What else we doing when I become the president?
And then we're gonna get Brown easily. And
Okay.
We're around Cooper, the county education.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get Mark to be our press agent.
Okay, that makes sense.
We're gonna get my wife Junior.
Okay.
We'll get Junior. Then he can have 4, 5, 6 other jobs because he know we talk about.
Yeah, and we could get Rayford for infrastructure. BJ, yeah.
BJ on there, you'll get BJ on there.
Okay, so we got Rayford for infrastructure. We got BJ in there. All right, what else we got?
Let me see, man. Let me see here, man.
We gonna make it fit. I'm running for president. And look, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That is my campaign slogan for all of 2023 going into 2024.
What is your color?
What is who color?
What is your color?
Well, I'm black.
What are we Negro?
Yeah, we are. But
Negro, let's be black and Spanish.
Negro, all that. And I'm going to flip it on them too. I'm going to say, in fact, if you don't vote for me, Jedi mind trick, you not white. Ooh, wait. Well, if you don't vote for me, you're not a wigger either. If you vote for me, you ain't nothing. I want your vote. Absolutely. Well, absolutely. Why not? It don't matter. We got Little Rick, the Secretary of Defense. We gonna be good. Can't nobody do nothing. They can't do nothing. Absolutely. And we got Tone. That's my campaign manager, man. We ready. Tyrone, 2024 for president. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And if you think you white, if you don't vote for me, you ain't white either. I want your vote. Appreciate it. Well, Spivey gonna come up with a new anthem. You know, there's some problems with the current one. We're gonna the first bit of business we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and we're going to switch that up. So that's our first order, our first day when we get in there.
And I'm gonna do a song on the Al Green, so they could know it all.
Absolutely, and then I'm going to urge my Senate or my Congress, and we want to do a legislation to where if a police officer, because you got the Blue Lives Matter bill, and you got legislation that protects police officers from hate crime. I'm going to use that same legislation, for them. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. That's what the president say. That's what we do. Absolutely.
I know what we say today. When black folks commit black folks on crime with each other, the one who did it gets caught and he's dealt with.
Okay. Yeah.
Niggas do something, man, it's like I got a cash. Man, I thought I was doing the right thing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the call. I appreciate it. He said, yeah, they will move heaven and earth to let certain people get away with certain things. But when it comes to other people, they move heaven and earth to make sure you go to jail. My name is Tyrone. I want your vote. I am not going to give you a thing for it. And I appreciate it. And if you don't give it to me, you're not black. 12:30 The Source, you on the phone. Do I have your vote?
Yes, you have my phone. This is PK Day, because he called it PK or DJ, and both of those happen to be mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be y'all lawyer, so y'all need all him to speak.
Oh, PK, you know we got a spot for you. You are definitely the Attorney General. You go to run the ship, make sure everything is right legally, and make sure that we get some of these laws changed and legislation done that we need. That's it. Yeah. We're gonna you know, we're gonna need you on that constitutional law because there's some things in that little document that we need to change. So yeah, you're gonna be our constitutional lawyer and really shake it up. Tyrone 2024.
And I can get it together.
We're gonna get it together. We're gonna barnstorm the whole country. We win it.
Before I hang up on the old song, used to say, we gonna paint the white house
black. The roof gonna be black. The peaks gonna be black. PK, the doggone bricks might be black. Everything gonna be black. And I'm gonna paint a mural of all the beautiful people who built it in the first place. That's what we're doing that on day 2.
We're gonna send a new picture to Trump every day. Whenever he lives, we're gonna send him a new picture.
Well, I'm not gonna give you no mind, PK. We busy. We got things to do. Well, you handle that. All right, PK. 12:30 The Source, Tyrone 2020 for president campaign headquarters. Do I have your vote?
No, sir. I'm not going to vote for anyone at this time.
Why not? I look. Well, you're not black. You're not voting for me. You're not black.
You made me feel good just by saying that, brother. So the reason being, I knew the brother that lost his life from the cops of Minnesota very well.
Okay.
And I even knew his mother very well. So the more I think about it, it kind of hurts, you know?
Yeah.
I know you have to have a little, have to have a little backup and everything. And things are so serious in this day and time and everything. I guess like a lot of people say, you know, thank God that there is a creator and everything. And some of us know that, you know, eventually things gonna get better and the one, the unjust shall be judged, you know, and the first shall be last and last
shall be first.
You know, but you know, in the long run, it's just one of those things where you've seen so much and everything, you just wonder how long that song say, you know?
Yeah. Hey, give us a good memory of Gregory Floyd.
Well, I didn't know him personally. I knew his sister.
Okay.
I knew his mother. You know, he lived in third one. I lived in third one. Majority of my life was not being in the military for 5 years. You know, so I saw him when he was in college up in Florida when he was playing basketball and things like that. You know, and a friend of mine had called me today and said, but I already saw it on the news this morning, and I feel like I'll die every time I watch it. I can't even watch it in its entirety, my brother.
Yeah, it's sickening. It's literally sickening. It's inhumane.
I just can't watch it, and the more I think about it, you know, it's like, you know, man, you know what I mean?
What is a life worth?
Yeah, no shit, you know. And my niece, she's been a cop in Chicago right now for like 17 years. And I had a cousin HPD for 32 years, you know. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, you don't want to put a law in place that somebody has to uphold the law and you know,
right.
States and in the countries and everything, but
right.
Trying to see things like this happen, you just wonder, you know.
Well,
out there, you know?
Well, this is always my question, and it remains my question. We always hear people say, "Well, it's not that many. It's only one. It's only a few bad apples." When we see these events, it seems like every apple off the tree at that point in time is bad. Nobody does anything. They watch each other do it, and then want to convince me that only 1 out of the 4 people there are bad. How does that work? If you and I go rob a bank, well, you robbed the bank, I just drive. I just hold the bag. I mean, I didn't hold the gun. I just carried the money out. Does that mean I'm a good person?
You're still an accessory to the fact. You're still an accessory to whatever happened. You're an accessory.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Go ahead. Let me let you get your last word.
Now, well, like I said, they ought to be thankful that a lot of all the people that we believe are higher power and we believe in the Creator, because He say, well, what would you do? You know?
Yes.
Man, I want to be at peace and rest when I leave and make my transition from this stage to earth and everything. A lot of people don't really want to know what I really think, you know?
Right. Well, well, you know, we be here after the sun go down. I know a lot of people know exactly what you mean and feel the exact same sentiment. So you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. I think anything we do has to be strategic, though.
Right. Yeah, so true. That's why I try to be at peace mentally and everything, and keep peace in my mind and heart and everything, and not think like that, because it's so easy to be swept to that side and everything, go off on the deep end. You know, and I'm working with financial facility right now. I work at a mental hospital. So I've been dealing with people like that for almost 10 years. So, you know, I had to keep myself stable and everything.
Yeah.
So I could, you know, be able to come to work every day and do what I do, you know.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing everything, brother. Keep up the work, and peace and blessings to everybody out there.
Peace and blessings to you as well. Peace and blessings. And yes, George Floyd went to Yates. I saw that on Little Rick page earlier. He went to Yates High School right here in Houston, and it's definitely touching people. These things touch people around the world. And I know people say, well, black people kill each other too. I say, okay. And I get it. But we can have 2 separate conversations, because what one group of people doesn't give somebody else permission to exert an over-exorbitant amount of dominance on a group of people and kill them to where it comes out killing them. So, you know, I hear that. I saw that pop up earlier. 1230 The Source. This is Soapbox Heroes. What's on your mind, caller? Do I got your vote for president? We run in 2024.
No, you didn't, and you don't.
What?
You might not get there.
Why don't I have your vote? You're not black. What's up, Raymond? Look, it don't matter what you feel. It don't matter what you know. I'm telling you, you not black. And I don't have to earn your vote, because there are other people that are going to tell you you're not black if you don't vote for me. So it's either get down or lay down. Do I have your vote?
Yeah, no, man. I don't come down for that way. So I can vote for you. I cannot vote, or I can vote against you.
Man, that don't sound very black of you right now.
I want to you know, I'll tell you, I listened to folks, and I have a saying that God is the best excuse that black people have for nothing about the position.
Okay.
You know, so God took care of it. Let me tell you, it's like saying with him, I said, when you said that faith that you could pray until you faint.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we are. You can pray until you faint. You can wait on God, and they can kill you some more of you. Because God put you here to fight for your own right.
All right.
Own self. Can't go do that.
Well, look, let me ask you this, Raper. What would be your suggestion on changing things? Are you saying we should just get out there and have a crash course with society, with people who hate us? You think we should do that? War? You think we should?
No. So there's power to change those people.
Okay.
Another power structure. Another powerful.
You have to be powerful.
And then when you take them home, they will get some other folks to get in line.
Mm-hmm. So
let me you know what that looks like when you see a piece of detail? Because we ain't in the strategy. We're going to let Ram think of it.
Well, Raper, you keep talking like You're not black, but go ahead. We listening. Go ahead.
That's what gives me some ideas on what to do to solve my problem and the energy to go about doing it with.
Okay.
Now, if you don't like what I'm doing, you can go talk to World War IV and they take about the Indian.
Wow. Okay.
And so I have this saying that says, if you can't take on your enemy directly, take on your enemy's friend.
Right.
Your enemy's friend will get those people in line.
Right.
And will end this. So I give you an example. Pick your favorite bank.
Okay.
Cut them off. Bank.
Okay.
It don't even take nothing from us. We couldn't stop watching football. You know, I guess we bring the gun and we get the Kansas City. Strategically, you take on your enemy head on. Wherever they are, then you take on your enemy's friend, and they will rein them in.
They will rein them in because they are benefiting. And what it sounds like you're saying, and you know what? The thing about stuff like football, and I mean, I love the sport, and people get mad at me when I say this. I say, but I could go without watching it. If we could generally change the dynamics of some of the fundamentals of this country by simply not watching or participating in something in a mask, just stop.
That's what the guy stood on and pretty much lost his career on just a message about us.
Well,
but I don't know what it takes. I go pray to God that someday the black folks will get involved in behind and get involved in their business and go do something.
Yeah, I do think something that has to be done. What would you say somebody could do who don't know what to do? Because we got to be able to create things and give people something to aim at. What can somebody do?
Well, it takes money and power, and enough of us. Not everybody has doing things, but enough of us come together to inflict pain on what the economic power that we got right across this country. We give what we want.
Okay.
Even right now, when we're surrendering to Biden over nothing. Well, actually, there's a man who's done more on the black folks in his opposition.
Okay.
So,
well, Rayford, the other guy is bad, Rayford. well, Rayford. Well, Rayford, Rayford, you are hurting my sensibilities because I feel like that I have given my support to someone fervently, and I don't want to realize that you are telling the truth. You know? Yeah. Absolutely.
If you want to find out what I'm doing, like, I was looking at the talk last night, we were trying to find the things that those people have done to hurt students, specifically target black people. I don't, when everybody heard, I had people, white people saying something about voting Trump, voting out Trump, and I'm saying, you can't even vote. See that you starting to feel a little bit of, we think feel all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we get free. I don't want you to get free.
Absolutely. You guys, you want me to be you want me to be in the middle of everybody else's problem. I gotta go.
I don't even get our problem, but I don't even get the attention and they deserve. It should have been done long ago. So I was like, I hear about the children in the cages. I ain't working on that. I'm only working on our freedom because we have been left behind. We left our own selves behind. We think our interests are white people's interests only. Not our interests or our interests. Get them to do our stuff.
Yeah.
Not in a few years, okay, coming up. It's now past due. So they got this reputation of delivering for us, but when we measure where we are on access to the economic system,
it's not there.
I will tell you. Why do you tell you that it's racism driving and racist policies and red lights, all those kind of, why do you tell you?
Biden said, I don't care what the problem is. I don't care. He said, I don't care if we made the problem. Lock them up. Lock them up. And Rayford, and you won't give me your vote? Man, you're not black. You won't give me your vote. You're not black.
You know, I come to realize when the last Republican was elected, George Bush, I realized we survived 8 years. We survived 4 years. We'll survive 4 more years in some form. But until we demand our freedom too, our equality, our equity, our access, we can just get help from somebody else, get some relief. Because the relief ain't coming for us.
All right.
They were killing black people before this man became president. They killing him now. And you know what? Until we stand up for us and find power. And here's what, all these people don't go to church on Sunday. Ask your pastor, what are they doing for the oppression? What are they doing about the oppression, right?
Okay.
That's where your powerhouse is. If I was going somewhere and giving somebody that authority, that power, my money, and then you claim they're in direct communication with God, they got, okay, well, then ask God what we can do about it. Moving on. That's what Dr. King did. A good representative to get out and help me solve my problem.
Absolutely.
Get me a car, go put your money and feel it.
And they gonna tell you about it. And hey, Rayford, look, I got some more calls I want to get to, but hey, man, what they gonna tell you is this: they gonna say, Rayford, now, I know. Look, I hear you talking all that good sense. I don't want to hear that good sense. Keep that good sense to yourself, Rayford. And if you don't vote for me, then you are not black. Thank you, Rayford. I appreciate it. Oh, you guys, look, I deserve your vote. I deserve it. Whether you know it or not, whether it's true or not, I deserve your vote. You know, hey, at least I didn't put millions of people in jail. At least I didn't. I mean, look, we're talking about putting kids in cages. Hey, at least I didn't separate kids from their families by putting their dad in jail. I deserve your vote. If you don't give me your vote, you are not black. 1230 The Source. This is Soapbox Heroes. Do I have your vote?
Hey, man, you know the friend of the people always ready to vote for my brother, man.
Oh, FOP, my vice president. I'm so glad to hear from you. You ready? You geared up. Are you geared up?
Yeah, hey, man, I'm super ready. I'm ready to see a lot of things change. You know, and if we have to run and go all the way there, take it to the White House ourselves, then so be it.
We got to take it somewhere. The car is stalled. We got to go.
Not an easy job, but somebody's got to do it, right?
Got to do it. Look, even if we kick up dust, enough dust to make you sneeze, you know we're there. We'll know we're there. We got to get some type of fundamental change, FOP. We're just going to keep going side to side. Go ahead.
I got a tough question for you, though. Okay?
All right.
You and your black self.
All right.
Black self. My black self is the vice president. Who was going to stop us from getting assassinated first? I need to know about my safety. It's going to be somebody, somehow, some way. You can't kill a president right now, but they'll figure it out.
Well, I got a guy, his name is Rick Wilmore, Little Rick. He's going to be the head of our defense. We already had the sacrifice in quarantine. You know what? We only going to get 4 years. That's a guarantee. We might just have to stay in. We might just have to do it for the people and just stay in. We can't go nowhere. We just got to stay in the house. It's a big house.
Just turn it to a dictatorship.
I mean, not really. We only going to get 4 years. We know that, but we have so much history to reverse. If we're the president, our administration, which one of the first things that you think we should attack?
Well, first thing we should attack, of course, if we're talking about our national scale, we're talking about the two-party system itself.
That's why you my vice president, boy. Go ahead.
We got to get money out of Congress. And we need to get these corporate donors and lobbyists out of the Congress so that the people have more, that there's more democracy.
Right.
We have to increase freedom. I want to talk a little bit about it from the side of the Democrats. They're not really in any kind of power right now, and they're actually giving away power during this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that they're losing is because they don't have anything. Joe Biden does not have anything that he's attacking to actual freedom. The reason that people are feeling the way they're feeling right now, especially black people, is because they're not free.
Right.
Black people are not free, and we don't have, democracy has been basically spit on by these large corporations.
Right.
Why is, if the Democrats want to win, they need to talk more about freedom, because the Republican Party talks about freedom.
Yeah.
When you can't, and it's not about what kind of life, it's not about just simply making it and surviving. It's about the quality of your life.
Right.
And you can't inspire people to fight for the quality of the quality of life. You can't promise people a certain quality of life and a certain amount of freedom that's worth fighting and dying for. You're not going to change anything.
And you're not going to make them want to fight if they don't see no path for that life.
Exactly. It's going to be a fight to beat Donald Trump because his base is engaged. They're happy and they're very, very excited about going out and voting for Trump in November. They're very excited.
Right. Well, because the Democrats aren't giving anything to be excited about. That's why we're going to put on our mud boots and we're going to give people things to be excited about. We're coming with legislation. We're coming with Medicare for all. We're coming with, we're going to put certain caps on corporations to where, they have to be able to treat their employees with a certain standard. We're going to get rid of all the right to work rules. We're going to change some of the regulations so we don't just die from the bad air in about 10, 15 years. I'm running for president, but look, besides all that, do I got your vote? Because if not, you're not black.
Oh yeah, of course you got my vote. I'm the vice president. You certainly got my vote.
Well, you know what? You say that, but I don't think Mike Pence is going to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, of course he is.
No, he's not. Nobody gonna know. He's just gonna say he is. That's what people do.
Oh no, if you're Christian, if you're an evangelical, Donald Trump is gonna probably take a great deal, maybe about 70 to 80% of the evangelical vote. Because, and I heard this today, and I'm going to try to do justice as far as the quote.
Okay.
Because they said the Christians vote for a president that's not Christian and supports business, because Christianity is not a religion, it's a business.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh, okay. Look.
He just got to be a businessman. He's got to be able to put them in a position where they can still, maintain the pillar of white supremacy that's in Christianity, and they're cool with that.
Well, according to 1 Corinthians, verse. Well, according to 1 Corinthians, if you don't vote for Tyrone and Robert in 2024, you're not black. You're not black. Little Rick, we gotta get in the White House. We got a whole bunch of black paint. We're about to change the whole world. But hey, man, look, I am getting concerned with this when it comes down to the Joe Biden, Donald Trump argument. Or I look at it like this. Right now, let's say you can be all in the tank for Joe Biden. I think it's a very weak strategic point to promise him your vote 6 months out. People's been doing it for a whole year, promising him your vote without making him work for it. Even if you're going to do it, what do you think about that?
That's absolute fact. One of the failures of the progressive wing of the party and the failure of progressive period was that we had a leader that basically ran on, as he was running, was saying that it didn't matter who won, he was going to vote for them anyway.
Right.
And for all the good things that Bernie Sanders did in terms of bringing the party to the left and bringing the people, changing the paradigm into a real opposition party to Republicans, he actually failed in, actually offering a fight or putting himself in a position where if he didn't win, Biden would have to concede to some of his demands or take part of his platform. As it stands now, Joe Biden does not have to adopt any of Bernie Sanders' platform. Bernie Sanders doesn't have a leg to stand on in suggesting a cabinet member, anything like that, because he basically has said the whole time, hey, no matter who the nominee is, I'm going to support him. And now he's basically painted himself into a corner and painted those progressives now that are left kind of disenfranchised from their top issues not being represented by Joe Biden, like student debt forgiveness, Medicare for all, and environmental issues that are not.
Wait, FOP, no. Well, first of all, if you say anything about Joe Biden, then you're voting for Donald Trump. Everything you said, you're a Russian bot, you're a Trumpster. You must be. You must be, because you said that Joe Biden just maybe isn't perfect. So you gotta be Donald Trump hack. That's what it gotta be. Let me see. Michael Benjamin says, if you want things to change, you got to get rid of our, let me get closer, of our black gatekeepers that support so-called white premises first before we as black people. Good point. Go ahead, Robert. What you think? It's a good point. Well, just because somebody's black don't mean they for you.
Absolutely not. And the thing is that our people need to understand that you need to vote based on, your own value set. And on black, we're not monolithic, but we're a lot alike. We're like regular anybody else.
Yes.
An environment where we can get married, raise kids, our kids can go to college, have a better life than us, and they can raise families and have kids.
Yeah.
I think everybody else wants. But both out of those values, unfortunately, because we are captivated very easily with entertainment, and so we're more likely to vote for someone that we find entertaining than we are actually to vote for somebody that exemplifies our values.
Yeah.
A lot of black people moved over to Donald Trump. He doesn't exemplify the values of a black community. He doesn't.
I think a lot of people moved over to it. Think a lot of people moved over to Donald Trump out of a frustration. And now I'm wondering what they're going to do now that they, have that frustration been satisfied. Are you more frustrated? Are you frustrated in a different direction? But I'm going to tell you, this is what bothers me the most about what I'm seeing right now. In my opinion, we have two guys who are racist, and they've both shown it. Now, we have some people who want to act like one guy isn't. We got some people who want to act like the other guy isn't. But let's just tell the truth. They both are, right? So we got...
They're from a different time. Think about it. They're white men in their 70s. They've been around, right? Even if they're not directly in their own mind, they're racist. They have been raised in the deepest sentiments of white supremacy, have enveloped them their entire lives. One just happened to come from a middle class family that had white supremacy enveloping him, and one was rich and affluent and had white supremacy enveloping him. And you can't teach your own dog new tricks. They might not even think they're racist in their own mind. They are victims of the white supremacist government or white supremacist culture of America as much as anybody else.
Well, this is what I want to say, and I'm going to play something after this. I don't think that we as a people, anybody in general, should be arguing to the point to where we disagree. And we're going to disagree, but I mean disagree to where we're pushing each other away and putting each other down. And I'm about to log off and come find you over two racist white guys. I mean, come on, man. In the words of Joe, come on, man. We're arguing with each other over who's less racist. Come on, man.
White people in general, it comes to just any serious discourse. We need to begin to raise the level of discourse.
Absolutely.
And to understand that it's important to educate yourself on something before you have an opinion on it. And listen to other opinions before you judge them. Understand the other side's argument. And how to formulate an argument. How to evaluate claims for truth. In the black community, we suffer because we have been phased out a lot by the education system. We didn't learn a lot of these fundamental things. And they don't understand that actually keeps us out of power in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. We have to learn about how politics works. We have to learn about the system works, and we have to actually be engaged in it. And my thing is this: I'll never tell anybody how to vote, and I'll never get mad at for somebody for who they vote for. I just want people to know what they're voting for. To blunt yourself for surprise, and from surprise. And politically speaking, right now, let's talk a little bit of political strategy. We have Joe Biden, who came out and made a terrible statement. In my opinion, it don't matter how you slice it. And I'm not saying don't vote for him, but he made a terrible statement. And so if you're an opponent, or if you're trying to get something, now is when you milk it. I would be like, nah, man, we got to talk about that. If you want my vote back, player, I'm gonna need this healthcare thing taken care of, player. If you want my vote back, player, we gonna need some loan forgiveness that's gonna last, player. If you want my vote, we're not only gonna have to talk about a black vice president, we're gonna have to talk about a qualified black vice president who doesn't mind doing things that might make people think, oh, she's black. You know what I mean? So these are some of the things that, put pressure. That's what I'm trying to compel people to do. Apply pressure. That's what we have to do.
Well, we had a tremendous opportunity to apply pressure during the Democratic primary, so we would end up with a Joe Biden in the first place. There were 3 candidates that were running in favor of some type of reparations, but none of them could get over about 2 or 3% with the black vote. So it basically shows you that we don't care about, at this juncture, we don't care about our values and how.
Well, hold on. Well, I wouldn't say we don't care, because I think that's kind of overstating. I don't know a lot of black people that even know exactly who Marianne Williamson is. So when we talk about taking, do you know how many black people haven't watched no debates? You see what I'm trying to say? In general, and yes, people aren't politically engaged, but I wouldn't say they don't care. Some people are just tired of politics to where they've been disengaged. And so that's what I'd say. I wouldn't say they don't care. They just have to be, captivated to be re-engaged. Sometimes people get tired.
Black people aren't like other people. We can't afford to be lax in political issues because there's so much at stake.
True.
Every single time.
True.
We can't take the same blase. But now, I understand this about a lot of people, a lot of hardworking people. They work really hard. They got a lot on their mind. They're just trying to make ends meet. And when you're talking about a hierarchy of needs, the need to watch the debate just simply ain't in it when you're comparing it to feed your kids.
Right.
I understand that.
And power zone, fool. I ain't see who killed Ghost. So, that matters too. I mean, that's what some people.
There's nothing wrong with those types of entertainment, do that, but it's about priority too.
Right.
A little bit of time. I think if everybody just took 15 minutes or 20 minutes a day, or even if it just took an hour spread out over a week to educate themselves politically, we would see a much more educated thing in terms of black people, and you would see that in the vote, you would see changes in the way that people vote. Right,
absolutely. There's something that I talked to with my buddy Jay about, and we talk about it. And I've come up too with the conclusion, and I literally got it from him, that one of our biggest mistakes also is stopping our education at slavery. We got to go before slavery, because you get in that mindset of this is all you ever were, and pretty much that's all you're ever going to be,
Possibility, definitely.
Yeah.
Black people definitely have, to some extent, an identity crisis. So anything that feeds into knowing more about who you are and your identity would definitely.
Well, see, I'm glad you said that. Black people having an identity crisis is why people like Joe Biden could feel like they can say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And the only reason I say that I can attribute that to him feeling okay with saying that is because Joe Biden has made a lot of gaffes. And Joe Biden has said a lot of overtly racist things. And anybody getting frustrated that I'm saying that, so has Donald Trump. So relax.
Tyrone, the Democratic Party, you have to understand, is not interested in being good for the people. It's just being just a little bit better than whatever the Republicans are. Because when Joe Biden made that gap and said, if you vote for Donald Trump, you're not black. Is what he basically said, right?
Right.
You vote for Donald Trump, you're not black. I still, you know what flash in my head?
What?
Looking at that guy.
My black voter over there.
Look at my African American over there.
The same thing. The same thing.
Exact thing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like,
Well, I think Donald.
the honor black people. Like a trophy.
Well, I do think it's a little different. I think that was Donald Trump trying to use a black man highlighting full other black people as if this is something common, or make you say, look, he's doing it. Why shouldn't you? I think Joe Biden does it out of arrogance.
I think he was actually joking, and I think that it was just a super bad joke, like you made before.
You know what?
It comes out of insensitivity. It comes out.
I agree.
Insensitivity. So I'm not gonna give him no quarter on it.
Right.
But if it was just a bad joke, I can understand that. It still shows a lot about your character. I mean, if I was to go make a bad joke, or something with like one of my elders or my grandma or my mentor or something, I would be looking foolish.
Right.
I should be embarrassed and ashamed.
Right.
Embarrassed and ashamed.
Well, my question is this: if Joe Biden said, you know what, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then you're not a Jew.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't really gay.
What if Trump said, if you don't vote for me, you're not white? You're not a white person.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Or if he said the same thing Joe Biden did. So this is all I'm saying. I think we have to have a sober assessment of who they are, just so we know what we're getting into, and so you can have the motivation to apply the pressure. Because right now, like I said, Joe Biden is leaking, and I'm sorry, this is big game hunting. And so if you want something while they're leaking, you got to go bleed that thing. You got to go get everything you can while they bleeding if they need your help to get back up. And so, yeah.
And that reminds me of the fact that we're in the COVID crisis right now. We should be able to stick it to these politicians
Hard.
Crisis. We should be able to stick it to these employers in this crisis and say things like, well, you know the power of a boycott is crazy. If I was in Minneapolis where they did it to that man right there, you know what I would say? I would say, we got to get together. We're going to start boycotting these businesses that are already financially strapped until the city says something. We're going to make it pay, and we're going to let them know the reason we're not spending with you isn't because of you particularly, but because the city is not doing anything. So we want you money people to go and speak on our behalf.
Well, let me ask you this. Boycotts work so well. Why are we so afraid to even boycott the announcement of who we're going to vote for? I didn't say boycott the vote, boycott the announcement, boycott the telegraphing.
Already declared who they would vote for.
Can't do that.
Now, when the Democratic nomination actually talked about bringing that, Biden won such a large portion of the black vote. It would be hard to say that the same people that voted for him over Bernie Sanders wouldn't vote for him over Donald Trump.
Well, and I think that's a lot of where his thinking came, where he said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Based on the South, that's what it seems like. If you don't vote for me, you're not black, because Joe Biden, as you and I both know, didn't campaign in the South at all. He didn't even come to the South. He spent no time in the South, yet the whole time he promised, I'm going to win the South. I'm going to win. They were like, well, maybe you should take the No Malarkey tour to the South. He said, that's money. I don't have to go do that. They're still going to give me their vote. I think strategically, that's not smart for people that want something. I did a little bit of studying earlier, and I was looking at the way that white women vote. White women, you never know where they're going to vote, and that's why they're always sought after. Both presidents right now are going after white women. They're going after white women hard as possible, spending resources. They want that suburban soccer mom that drink Moscato after soccer practice. And so they'll go after her because they don't know who she's for. They don't know.
The white woman in this election is going to vote for whoever allows their husband to protect their white privilege as much as possible without feeling like a racist. That would make me think that they're going to lean towards Joe Biden, but then again, last election, they voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump.
60%, something to that number. And so, like I said, you never know. Now, they do normally vote a little more Republican because they're swaying with their husbands. But in swing states, but in swing states, they're swing. You never know. And so could you imagine Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you are not a real white woman? He would never even think of it. That would never be a joke. It would never accidentally come up. And I'm saying that based on all the 20 million other gaffes that he said. And so that's my thing. I just want us to know exactly what we're getting into and learn how to apply pressure. It's time.
Right. And not only that, and just for anybody that's listening, we got to understand something about the American system, that Black people, we have a tremendous amount of power in this system, but we have to clarify our goals and we have to move forward in some type of unity. Now, we're not going to meet a lot of unity on like different social issues. We're just divided as white people on a lot of different social issues. However, when it comes to economic issues, I think that there's a place where we can find common ground across both aisles, but all among Black people. And we need to understand that there is power in civil disobedience. Like Martin Luther King used. There is power in the protest. They always say when someone gets killed, all they're going to do is protest. Well, yeah, if you have that attitude towards protesting as a group, that's what that's going to take the power of the protest away. There is a power in the special interest group. There is a power in the organizer. You don't, and when we get cynical, just because we don't see it working like sweepingly all the time, doesn't mean it's not working. And what you can't say is it doesn't work just because you don't. You got to understand what we're fighting and what we're up against here. We're fighting a monster of like we're trying to move a mountain, and it takes time, and it takes force, and it takes continual effort. And I do not want any of you guys, any of you Black ears that are listening, to become just cynical about the process.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give in. But once you give up, you're gonna have to settle for what you did. But as long as we're willing to fight, and sometimes just the fact that they know that we will fight changes things before things even happen to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, FOP, I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to let you go. We up against the hour.
Get out of here.
Absolutely, that was FOP. Hey, you guys. So yeah, that's what I'm more or less talking about, is using your political leverage. And I'm gonna be honest, Donald Trump is a jerkbag. Period. Point blank. That's not something that I don't hide. It's not something that I don't hide. But we can't be politically soft on Joe Biden because the other guy sucks. We don't want to keep going from F- to F, from F- to F. Oh, we got an F. It's better than F-. No, we could demand higher, we can go for higher, we can want higher, and we can urge higher. And this is one thing that I want to put out there. When it comes to politics, don't be afraid to hold their mistakes over their head. Don't look at it as negative. Don't look at it as, oh, we can't do that. You might get the other guy elected. The other guy got so many negatives to where all you have to do is, what I do is compare the negatives and I just tally them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you're worse. And I know everything isn't as black and white as that, but we can do that. There's enough data and information out there. So let's not go from a F- to a F, because what happens after that is we just get another F-. And then we're arguing over, should we go from a F- to an F? Yeah, we should. Eventually, we got to buck the system. And I don't mean go out there and take up your long arms, even though we should if we need to, protest and protection and things like that. I mean with your nugget, with your noodle. Take the emotion out of it. Don't be afraid to hold your politicians' mistakes over their head. They don't want you to do that because it sucks. They have to atone for it. They have to, all right. But if we block for them, they'll never have to atone for their mistakes. In fact, my wife been mad at me for a week because I forgot to take out the trash. She been holding it over my head and oh my goodness, and she just won't let it go. Walk out the side, she just look at the trash can and I was like, that was last week. But I bet you I won't forget the trash this week. I bet I won't forget the trash last week. So when it comes to stuff like the crime bill and stuff like that, we're being intellectually dishonest by acting like it didn't play a role in separating Black families and taking fathers out of homes and all that stuff. We can't act like Joe Biden hasn't said. If we're talking about directly to Black people, he said worse stuff than Donald Trump. This isn't hyperbole. And so my thing is this: if you're still going to vote for him, hold his feet to the fire. Don't promise him nothing and make him work like a rib to get it off the bone. You guys, look, hold it over their heads. Hold it over their heads and make them apologize. Make them say, please, like a James Brown, please. Make them come begging like they do white women in suburbia. We're doing legislation. We're adding women to it. We don't mean all women. We mean these women. Stuff like that, you guys. Let's put the pressure. Let's put the pressure. And I would suggest maybe that we stop arguing with each other and wanting to choke each other out over the family dinner, over who's least racist. Take their racism and beat them in the head with it. Make them need us. We don't need them. At least we got to project that. This is Soapbox Heroes. My name is Tyrone Irvin. I'm going to leave you with something on purpose that you can hold over Joe Biden's head. I think it sucks that he said this, but he did. So instead of running from it, pay attention to it. Learn from it and learn how to apply pressure. It's just like when your spouse go out and cheat, you still love them a little bit. You're gonna put them through the ringer. You're gonna make them do it. They're gonna be on their best behavior because you're going to hold it over their head. If you tell your spouse, you can cheat on me, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. I'll still be here, babe. You're gonna get cheated on. This is Soapbox Heroes. Listen to this.
It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons.
It doesn't matter that they are a victim of society. That's a clear admission that he understands that these same people he's talking about are victims to society. But he musters the energy to say, I don't care about that. So I don't care if we put you in a bad position. I don't care how dramatically we affected your life. I don't care.
I want to ask, what made them do this? They must take it off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing,
when he keeps saying they, he's talking about niggers.
Because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will become the predators 15 years ago. Madam President, we have predators on our streets. As in fact, but because of this neglect, created.
He said that society, in fact, have been in. Wait, let me rewind that, because that's important, and we're about to get up out of here. But I want you to hear the clear admission of wrongdoing to the same people you have no empathy of locking up. Those people, put them away. And again, you guys, this is true. These aren't my words. And like I said, we don't have to be harmed by this anymore. Let's use this for our political advantage. Hold it over his head and make him promise to change everything in that bill. Make him eat every word that he said. Give him the poker face. He deserves to, he at least deserves the poker face. And if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And that's for sure.
Society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created.
Society, in fact, in part because of its neglect, have created this. So he's saying it. He's admitting it. That's my problem, you guys. To know that you created a problem, but have no empathy in what you created, but solely want to just banish those people from sight. Don't forget, you created it. That's why I'm not blocking for either one of them. They got to show me something, you guys. They got to.
Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society.
We created them, but we do not forgive them. Take them out of society. Listen to the words. These are deep words. And again, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you who to vote for. But at least turn this into power. You got to be able to hold things over people's head. The same way you hold stuff over your spouse's head when they forget something. This, your life depends on. It's not just the trash on Tuesday.
It does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, those people.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people. And these are the same people in which literally 5 seconds you said that we created. Now, I'm not a part of the we. I'm a part of the them in this situation. So, unfortunately, I don't understand exactly where he's coming from.
Beyond the pale, it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice out of society.
That's what they say about dogs with rabies.
And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate him at that point. That's true. I'm the guy that said rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it, notice it. And when we notice it, we know it occurs, we don't know why. So you cannot make rehabilitation.
You can't make rehabilitation a condition for release. Other words, this isn't for rehabilitation. This is to lock you up.
That's why in our system, there's the federal system, 85% of your time. You don't know how to rehabilitate. But there's a consensus, and I will say, A must make the street safer. I don't care if someone is a malefactor in society.
I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society. And I wish he would have added, even if it was my grandfather, even if it was my dad, even if, in fact, with this bill, it's me.
I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a psychopath. We have an obligation to bring them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change the future. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it, but they are in jail.
So again, when he's talking about, well, in the bill, we put drug treatment, go listen to the interviews. We put drug treatment, we put programs. But let's go back to when he was on the floor in the House giving this impassioned speech. Yeah, we give them those resources, but they're in jail. They're in jail. All right.
Away from buying
And this is the problem. This is what I want to listen to. We got 1 minute left. And this is what I want to illustrate, because I wanted to tie this to what we were talking about earlier. I want to relate this to the murder of George Floyd. Not caring about an individual group of people, devaluing their lives to where it literally makes nothing, to mean nothing. And I want you to listen to this next line of speech. I want you to listen to this next line of speech that Joe Biden goes into. I want you to see how this connects to George Floyd being killed. Because it directly does. It directly connects to how Black lives don't mean too much of nothing. And it don't matter how they got there. It don't matter if it was done to them, if they're reacting to a treatment that was placed on them for hundreds of years. That don't matter. But just listen to the end, and you're going to see what I mean when I say this relates to it when we're watching a man get kneed to death. It relates to it because they make them as if we are animals. See, Joe Biden in his whole speech so far has been talking about they, them, they, as if they're creatures, as if we're animals of a different order, as if there is no reason for why people act a certain way. He acknowledges it, but he doesn't give credence to it. So I want you to listen how he describes these people, and then wonder why that cop could sit there and put his knee in that man's neck with such ease.
Away from my mother, your husband, our families. But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the conditions that nurture those folks still exist. And we must deal with that. But
we must deal with that. And so my thing is this, is the description. We must keep them away from my mother, from my father, from your mother, from your wife, from your husband. Scare the literal hell out of people about us and make people think that we are some type of animal. At least hold this over his head. This is Soapbox Heroes. My name is Tyrone Irvin. I'm late. I'm about to get out of here. I'm running for president. If you don't vote for me, you are not Black. I'll see you tomorrow with my Black self. Make sure you cast your votes. Make sure you send me your money. Hand me your keys to your favorite car. And if your house is paid for, I'll take that too. You owe it to me. If you don't vote for me, you in fact are not Black. Have a wonderful night. Peace. What'd you say, Tom? All right, y'all. All right, book. Oh, it's two people. We moving up in the world. No, neither party is talking policy at all. And the policies that they are talking aren't helpful to the people at all. They are not. They're consolidating wealth for the 1%. Well, for the 0.25%, not even the 1%. There's just a big consolidation of wealth right now while people are hurting bad. And we arguing over who's the most and who's the least racist. And all I know is I'm running for president. Tone, you the campaign manager. Let's get it. Let's get it. And hold stuff over politicians' heads. They ain't your daddy. Hold it over their head. Make them atone for everything. It's a game. It's a game. You got to act like you. And I might never forgive you. Never, never, never. You want my vote? All right, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I'm hungry as a hostage.